Hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Garth's Garage. It's actually been renamed for this week, it's called Garth's Grill because we're actually asking questions of me and then questions of Leanne about our relationship, how we first met, things like that. So at the moment she's in the soundproof booth, which actually doubles as our caravan. I'll answer some questions and then I'll jump in the sound booth and she can answer the same questions and see how we compare. First met Leanne through racing. It was actually through this very car. It didn't look like this. I was driving for Fast Lane Racing back in '97 after we won the Australian Championship, and she brought her Formula Ford to our team, and I actually rebuilt the car, and she flew over to do some testing over in Perth, and that's how we met.
We met through racing in Formula Ford. It was 1997 and Garth had won the championship and I was just starting, and the guy that ran his team, Brett Lupton from Fast Lane Racing, he suggested we send our car over to them to get a few modifications, and while it was over there Garth was going to give me a few driving tips on how to best get around the Barbagallo Raceway.
Well, first impressions were more about racing than anything else because she was a customer of the team and I was working for the race team, so it was all very, very professional. And but we started emailing and all the rest of it, and then we became an item later on.
I thought he was very lovely. He picked me up from the airport, bought me a Coke at McDonald's, and then took me out to the track. And yeah, he seemed like a nice guy, but I was a bit shy. I was only 17 and sort of first time away without mum and dad there with me, so I didn't say much to start with.
First date, I can't remember to be honest. It must have been pretty memorable. I can't remember.
Well, because Garth lived in Perth and I lived in Sydney, we didn't really have a first date per se, but probably the time we got to know each other was when Garth's boss, Brett, told him to take me out because I think Brett was sick of me hanging around the workshop looking bored. So Garth drove me around some of the sites of Perth. We went to Fremantle and I wanted to go to Cottesloe Beach because there'd been a shark attack there and I was sure I'd see like sharks just teeming in the ocean, and went to Kings Park, and and I guess that's just where we got to know each other and sort of became friends. But like I said, with the distance, there was never a date where he asked me out on a date and we went out for dinner or anything like that.
The most annoying thing about Leanne is she's messy.
The most annoying thing about Garth would be he's just like really, really, really tidy.
I'm too tidy, she'd say, is the most annoying thing about me.
I'm really, really untidy.
Don't think there's too much in it. I don't think a lot of people that have worked with both of us from an engineering point of view say that she's probably smoother, more on the more fast and flowing sorts of circuits, whereas I'm probably more aggressive on the brakes and more hustle the car more on the brakes. So she's probably faster at places like Phillip Island and Eastern Creek, whereas I'm probably faster on the street circuits.
I reckon if we went back to when I was racing in the Formula 3, I reckon I could have beat him in the open wheelers.
Yeah, we're race car drivers, no one's patient.
I don't think either of us are particularly patient. I'd probably say me, but like I said, I don't think I'm like the world champion of patience either.
Date of our wedding anniversary is the 25th of September 2004, therefore we've been married for 13 years. It was grand final weekend. We got married in Sydney, but it was AFL grand final weekend, and a lot of my Perth and Victoria mates were most upset about the fact that we were getting married on grand final weekend.
Oh, okay, so what year is it now? 2017. So we've been married 13 years, and it's the 25th of September. So it was 2004. It was a grand final day. So Garth's best man was threatening to not be there if the Hawks were in the grand final, and luckily at that time they were nowhere near the grand final, so it was all good.